Hey guys, I'm going to plant the fall garden today. I cleaned some of it. You can see here behind me I still have some tomatoes and eggplants that are left. And the eggplants I'll probably take out, the tomatoes I'll still leave, and on one of the trellises I still have some beans that are not quite done yet. But other than that, the garden is pretty much done for the summer and ready to be planted for the fall. The chickens were here and made a little bit of a mess of things, so I'll have to go and organize it. The walkway is pretty messed up, you can see, and they kind of pulled the irrigation hoses everywhere, so I'll clean that up. So we were really busy with the big garden at the farm this year, and this little garden that is behind our house was a little bit neglected, and you can see all around all of those big tall weeds that I have here. One good thing is that we met a guy that owns a tree service company, and he is willing to give us all of his mulch, all of his wood chips, which we will use for mulch. So we have loads and loads of those wood chips now that you can see the pile behind me. So this will go all around the garden, but I might need to wait for winter to kill all this tall grass, so I might pull it by hand. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do yet, or maybe I'll put some cardboard on it or landscape fabric or something like that. Here are the plants that I got from a local plant nursery. I did not get to start my own seeds in the germination room this summer for the fall. There's a post on the blog that I will link to that explains the process of why we need to start plants for fall indoors. So I'll put that in the description, and you can take a look at that. But since I didn't get to do that in time this summer, I went ahead and purchased a few plants. I have some chard here and a couple of different kinds of lettuces. Each one of those containers has a lot of lettuces, so each one of those is a plant, which I'll plant separately. And then there's some cabbage and broccoli. That's what I could find at the nursery. I would have loved to have also Brussels sprouts and kale starts, but I could not find those. So kale I will plant right in the ground. Also I will plant peas right in the ground. I have some peas that are climbing, like the sugar snaps, and then this variety is called Sugar Ann, which is kind of like the sugar snaps, but they are about 3 feet or 2 feet vines, so they don't climb much and you don't have to support them by trellis. I also do radishes right in the ground, and of course carrots. Lots and lots of carrots, because they can stay in the ground through the whole winter if you just mulch them here in the south. And I'll try to plant a couple of those red cabbages. We really like the red cabbage, but I can't find starts for it anywhere. And that's one of the benefits of starting your own seeds, is that you can really have a much larger variety of seeds to choose from. So this is cabbage that I'm planting, and I planted one over there, and then I'll plant one 2 feet from it. The drip irrigation is making it really easy to space plants because I can just feel for the drip, and they're spaced 12 inches apart. So I'll just skip one and then plant the next cabbage over here. The ground is pretty good. It was covered with mulch all year, so it's pretty moist and nice. And I have a neighbor that has cows, so he gives me all of his cow manure. So I'll probably come by and spread some cow manure here. But right now I really want to get the plants in the ground because it's getting a little bit late. So to get it from the container, you just hold it in the neck right here on the bottom and pull it out. Should come out pretty easy. All right, now I'll take some of my old mulch and pretty much cover the plant. It's morning right now, and it's actually better to do this transplanting at night, but I always get to the end of the day and I just run out of time too quickly. So I am doing it now, which is really early in the morning, and I'm gonna pretty much cover my plant with just a little bit of mulch. So the strong sun during the day, it's still the middle of August, so it's still sunny here in North Carolina. And I don't want the sun to damage the plant. Those are cold weather or cool weather vegetables. So for the next 2 weeks or so, they'll still need a little bit of protection, and it's really easy to do if you have mulch. You just pretty much put a little bit of mulch over the plant, keeps it covered a little bit, and that will do the trick. So I'll keep on planting. Good morning, ducks. If you don't have Muscovy ducks on your homestead, you should. They are so easy to care for. So this is where the eggplants were before. I cleaned it up a little bit and pushed the mulch aside. Made a tiny little furrow where I'll put the carrot seeds. They don't have to be planted too deep in the ground. I'm gonna do Denver's from the Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. And I am not really worried about spacing carrots. I'll just sprinkle the seeds, and when they start growing, I will just come back and thin them. And the ones that you thin, you can wait until they're little tiny carrots, and of course use the carrots. And then I also make pesto from the carrot top, and there's a recipe for that on the blog. I'll put it in the description too. So I'll just sprinkle the seeds. Carrots are great for us here in the South because I can just leave them in the ground the whole winter. So pretty much they'll finish their growing around the beginning of November. Now we're in the middle of August, so around middle of November they'll finish their growing. But then the ground is getting really cold and it's act like a refrigerator. So all you got to do is cover them with a little bit of hay, and they'll keep in the ground for the whole winter. So whenever you need carrots, you just come to your garden and harvest carrots, and it's a pretty cool thing. So we'll do that. I'll also come back and add some more compost for them, and then I'll cover them very lightly with mulch right now, just to kind of keep the ground a little moist after I water it. But once they start growing, I'll add some more mulch around them. You can see the sun is coming up behind me. I still have a lot of work to do. I still only did the cabbage and a few seeds, so there's still a lot of work to do, but the kids are probably waking up now, so I might need to continue this later today or maybe tomorrow, but hopefully by the end of the weekend, which we're now the second weekend in August, I think. Hopefully by the end of the weekend, the garden will be planted for fall. And fall is a really easy time to garden. There are no bugs almost at all. It's really easy to keep the ground moist if you just water a little bit and you cover it with mulch. And the weeds really slow down quite a bit, so there's not much weeding to do. It's a really easy kind of garden. Pretty much planting and harvesting is the hardest part of the fall garden. So I hope you plant a fall garden this season, and visit me on the blog to go over a few more tips for the fall garden. I'll link to the post in the description, and subscribe and like and comment and let me know what you're planting and what you're growing this fall, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. So this girl, oh, here she goes. She was eyeing me from this roof over there, and then she flew right into the garden. I think she's thinking to herself, oh, nice young plants. Let's eat those. I need to clip her wings, but she's so sweet. She's flying all over.